Here's a true off my chest Reddit story that I want to share. It's titled, I think my husband's mistress thinks he is richer than he actually is. My best friend thinks I'm a douche because I am keeping silent. Interesting title. OP sets it up. Husband 39, OP 39, mistress 29, and best friend 39. We have been together for 14 years, living together for 11. He came and told me that he was in love about 3 weeks ago. I was surprised at the lack of F's I had to give at receiving such information. I did love him, but maybe my love has always been conditional, and its survival depends on it being reciprocated because it literally vanished the second he confessed to me that he was in love with another woman. He didn't want a separation, but to maybe open the relationship or let his feelings for her subside. I said it was over. It was like I never had feelings for him ever. He was taken aback by my indifference, which I thought, the audacity! Did he want me to be hurt and suffer? I told him that he should be relieved that he didn't cause pain. Instead, he has been sulking since. Last Friday, I got home and Mistress was there, sitting in my kitchen, sipping my tea. I felt nauseous because, seriously? I told him that this wasn't civil at all and to never be in my home again or I would call the cops. I went to my room and I heard her yelling at him for not standing up for her. Then I heard her say something very curious. Why haven't you kicked her out yet? He was trying to tell her to lower her voice, whispering, later! We can discuss this later. Ooh. She left and he came to me apologizing. He said, we didn't have sex here if this is what you are scared of. What? Okay. She just dropped by because I was working from home today. I told him that he had until the end of March to move out and to find somewhere to be during the weekends. This morning I changed all the locks. From now on, he isn't allowed in my place during my working hours. So if he starts later or finishes earlier, he needs to wait for me to come home and let him in. But his mistress words stuck with me, so during the weekend, I have been stalking her social media. I think she thinks that he is rich, or at least that he owns my apartment. I think she also thinks that my parents' summer house and boat are his. Unfortunately, the loser has taken her there, probably bragging about his wealth because her hashtags were all about the good life. I was telling my best friend all of this, but she was more agitated than indignant on my behalf. She told me that he was scum not telling Mistress the truth. I agree. I know, right? But then she said I was no better not explaining to her his situation either. Huh? I was dumbfounded, but she was serious. I told her that it wasn't my job to bring back Mistress to Earth. My best friend got very angry and demanded that I give her Mistress's username so she could warn her. No! I said. She called me a bigger douche than he is then. I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on with these people. Have they gone mad or have I? When did our moral compass go askew like this? Can someone tell me that I am not insane? Okay, OP, first of all, I'm sorry that you're going through this. Your husband is an absolute jerk. A cheating jerk at that. He is having an affair with someone who's 10 years younger than than you guys are. And you know what? He can go have his fun, And I mean, I can't believe you spent 14 years with this guy. And you know what? I kind of understand where you're coming from, where as soon as you heard the news, you're like, all right, whatever. I don't really, I'm done. Good for you, OP. I give you props for that. And good for you for basically kicking him out and standing up You didn't flip out on the mistress. You didn't do anything to the mistress. And I agree, it is not your job to tell the mistress what's the truth about the whole situation. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Your cheating husband is probably giving the impression to the mistress that the apartment is his, the summer home, well, your parents' summer home is also his, and the boat. I mean, he's just telling a lie to her too. I mean, in a way, I mean, she's 29. I kind of get it. I mean, she's still kind of young-ish, still kind of naive, okay? But at the same time, I mean, she's also old enough to know that, you know, he's married or, you know, he has a partner. And she still went ahead. So I can't really, really defend the mistress either. I mean, she knows that he was taken, okay, first. So she is a homewrecker, okay? But the fact that, she doesn't really know the whole financial truth, okay, fine. Because she doesn't know any better. Okay, whatever, you know? But the husband really trying to pass off your apartment, your parents' summer house, and your parents' boat as his own? Wow, it's gonna totally bite him in the butt for sure. Anyways, now on to the OP's best friend. What is up with that? Your best friend should be your ride and die person, alright? The fact that she got more upset at the OP about not telling the mistress the truth than the actual cheating husband, that's very suspicious. That's so weird. Because if it was me and my best friend came and told me that her husband was cheating on her, I'll be like, where is he? Let's go ahead and take care of this business type of thing. Alright? I'm all for my best friend. But the fact that OP's best friend wasn't really there supportive of her, that's very suspicious. And the fact that the OP's best friend is calling her a bigger douche from so-called hiding the truth from the mistress, what? Doesn't even make sense. Why does OP need to go and tell the mistress the truth? Eventually, the mistress is going to find out sooner or later. Hopefully. But anyways, the OP does bring up an update. But before I do, let's go ahead and get some comments. First commenter says, your husband is twisted. He told you in the first place to light a fire under your toes to make you fight for him or something. Rekindle your passion or something. He's not being discreet to get a reaction from you. And since that fell through, it would be great when he's not living at places the mistress came around to scope out. Your friend, give her a couple more feet of space because she's not looking out for you right now. Yeah. OP does respond back by saying, I truly think the cheating was taking a toll on him, so he told me he wanted to open the relationship. He didn't admit it at first that he already cheated. I don't know what to rekindle. We have had a very passionate, or at least on my part, loving relationship with lots of sex. But I can't make him love me or not fall for someone else. He is very sad now and crying all the time. I have never seen him cry before. It is awful because I feel guilty, but at the same time, I don't feel guilty. I told him to seek mental help. Maybe he needs to sort out his feelings, but far away from me. Shouldn't he be over the moon now, being newly in love? Well, that's also true. I remember nothing would make me cry when I was newly in love with him. Nothing could go wrong. But he is being remorseful all the time. Another commenter says, nope, not wrong. Get rid of him and wash your hands. Your bestie sounds delusional. I agree. Your bestie does sound delusional. OP says, whew, because I thought something was wrong with me when she got upset. Another commenter says, you should question why your friend wants to side with the mistress instead of to support you, her friend. That's very true. OP responds by saying, believe me, I have questioned and speculated. I think her marriage started in a similar fashion to the mistress. Woo! We gotta find out some more dirt. Sometimes your friends for so long, 35 years in my case, because you've known them your entire life, you don't see how different you are as people. Okay, here we go. On to the update. I had a showdown with my former best friend. Oh, former best friend now. Okay. Says I did it. I had a showdown with my former best friend via text, and I confronted her about her non-existent support when I went to tell her about my woes. I told her that she concentrated on the wrong issue. She should have been my shoulder to cry in. She should have shown up with wine, ice cream, and a shovel, but instead, she called me a bigger douche than my husband. She tried to gaslight me, and I realized that she's always been a good gaslighter, so I interrupted her before she made me out to be the villain. I asked her bluntly, was her husband's name married when you started sleeping together? Oh, you told us that he was married before. We all knew that, but we all were under the impression that he was married and divorced before you two met. But was he still married? Is that why you related to the mistress and felt sympathy for her? Because you were her? Oh, OP's calling her BFF. She didn't answer me until next day to call me a bitter, jealous bee. Wow, the truth just came out. This was the last one-on-one interaction with her, I have decided. She's been my friend since preschool, but now we need to go our separate ways, not only to save us from future hurt, but also to save our memories together from hurt. I talked to my husband too and asked him not to make the separation difficult and bitter, that it ruins all the happiness we felt together, being together, because we cannot think back on 1/3 of our lives with resentment. I asked him to take my dad's offer. He offered to help him find a lease on an apartment and pay half year rent if he moved out without giving me problems. When I got home, he and his clothes were gone. He left an apology letter saying that he will always love me and never meant to hurt me. So I have finally been able to cry my eyes out, and it felt so good. I have been crying since I got home. I lost 2 of the closest people, but this is what happens when you hit hardship. We see people's true faces. This is my update. I don't know if anything major will happen to make more updates. It is time for me to move on. Wow. Good job, OP. I'm so glad you stayed strong for so long and that you kicked your cheating husband out of the house and you had that talk. And your BFF, your ex-BFF, good riddance to her. You don't need people like her in your life. And like you said, when you're hitting hardship, that's when you see the true color or true faces of the people that are around you. And I'm sorry that you did lose 2 of the closest people in your life. I know it's hard, but you will make it through because you sound like you have very supportive parents, especially the fact that your dad offered your cheating husband such an enticing offer to pay for half the rent and find a lease for an apartment. Wow. That's just amazing. I don't think that's very common. Let's just put it that way. I think if it was a parent hearing that their child's significant other was doing dirty to them, at least for me as a parent, I'll be like, no, you are dead to me at this point. I would not be that accommodating for sure. Anyways, let's see what the commenters have to say about this update. It says, it is not out of kindness. The OP responded back to someone in the comments saying that she's being kind. It is not out of, the OP responds by saying, it is not out of kindheartedness. I just can't kick the man out without a fight or a bribe. If I had started evictions proceedings, I would need at least 6 months to do so, and I didn't want him in my life for this long. Okay. So I am bribing him. Housing is very scarce, and primary lease is almost impossible. My dad has connection with landlords, so he agreed to move out. He is living with his parents now until he gets his contract. I'm happy it didn't get more complicated. This is what my lawyer advised me to do because taking the eviction route would have made it drag for months. Oh, now I understand. Yeah, okay. I take back my comment. The parents just did what they thought was in the best interest of their child. or in this case, the OP, by getting rid of the cheating husband immediately or as quickly as possible. Okay, I get it. You're not that kind-hearted. I totally get it. So some of the commenters says, he said we didn't have sex here if that's what you're scared of. Oh, thank God. We got that cleared up. That's so funny. Yeah, like, if my cheating spouse told me that, I honestly don't think I would believe it. I'll be like, yeah, okay, whatever. Yeah, no. Okay, so another commenter says, I feel for OP, how gutting to find out two people so close to you are such dirtbags. I hope we get an update to where the mistress finds out. Oh, I know, I want to find out if the mistress ever finds out about the financial truth. Or maybe she already did, since, OP did kick out the husband out of the apartment, so who knows? Let's see. Let's see. Another commenter says, that was a juicy one. Can't wait until the mistress wakes up and smells the coffee. Yep. I think we're all curious to find out if the mistress ever finds out about the truth and what she would do after she finds out. Let's see. And one final comment says, another comment says, I'm all over it too. That one from cheating husband who got, ooh, never mind. This is not the right comment. So delete that one. Ooh. Okay. One final comment. It says, he'll tell the mistress that he gave OP the apartment so she would go quietly. I bet at least half the reason he's crying is that he lost his hashtag good life for the sake of someone who might not stay when she realized he's been lying to her too, not just to his ex-wife. Woo, yes. A follow-up commenter says, this scenario is the reason to tell the mistress all the stuff is hers to protect her property, not whatever the reason the BFF has. She may try to access it or use it thinking it's his, and there'll be no issues. She could end up damaging it and is unlikely unable to pay for it. That's what I would advise. It could result in her damaging it anyways, but I think it's unlikely. It's more likely she would end it with the husband, which with the sulking may have already happened. So it's likely that he owes nothing coming out anyways. Ooh, that is very true. What do you guys think of the story? Do you feel bad for the mistress? Or do you agree with the OP by keeping quiet and not telling the mistress what's going on? And what do you think about the ex-BFF to the OP? Do you think she was wrong? And do you think she's actually was the mistress in her marriage beforehand? Let me know in the comment section. And remember, if you like these types of stories, to continue to like and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys later.